Welcome back to another edition of the Course Creation Incubator Podcast. I'm your host, Gina Anativia, here to get you excited about your course creation, your marketing, and help you build up the course-based business of your dreams and help you launch, because we have been talking about launching over the last few episodes. And congratulations if you've been doing the work. If you've done the first 5 steps, I am so proud of you. If you haven't done the work yet, it's all good. There is plenty of time to go back to part 1 and part 2. I'll link to those in the show notes. Make sure that you're doing the work in order to plan out the launch that you really want, the launch that will lead to success for you. And I want you to walk through those steps. Step 1, thinking through your offer. Step 2, thinking through what defines success for you. Step 3, that segment of the audience that you want to start with, especially if it's your first launch. Step 4, the scope of how big or how small you want to go. And then, of course, step 5, what are the strengths that are going to lead you to a really strong multi-channel marketing effort? Okay, so make sure you go back and check out those episodes if you haven't gone through them already. If you're interested in having a breakthrough or getting unstuck or setting up that next transition to greatness that I know is inside of you, think about joining me for an intensive. I'll link to the application, short application, in the show notes. I've got a couple of different options. Check those out. Would love to work with you. Let's dive in. We've got our final 2 steps as part of this episode to set you up for success in terms of your launch. All right, we are ready for step 6 of our launch process. Now, it is thinking about your content run-up. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. I'll link to those shows in the show notes. But really, that added value content that you're delivering for people in anticipation of you putting out a paid offer. For some of you, the content run-up could include a smaller paid offer. So it could be a tripwire, and I'll link to the tripwire episode that I did, which is a lower price point that you're starting with, then leading them into a bigger price point or a medium price point as part of their customer journey. That could be a really nice feeder into a bigger program for you. I want you thinking through your content run-up as part of the steps. Are you going to go live a certain amount of times on your platform of choice? Are you going to ramp up the content that you're delivering in terms of your email list? Going to get a new freebie going? How are you going to whet people's appetites so they're ready when you officially launch your paid offer? So if you're doing a smaller launch, such as reaching out to personal connections, you may not need a content run-up for that audience. However, it can still be a good idea to test related content to see how it resonates with a wider audience. Plus, if you tie that content to a related opt-in, you can build up your audience with people who are interested in your offer way before you're launching it to a wider audience. And by the way, if you are going out to your local network, you do need to warm them up. If you haven't talked to a colleague or say a LinkedIn contact in a while, you're not just going to go onto LinkedIn and say, hey, I've got this paid offer, sign up now, right? We're not going to do that. We're not going to ask somebody for a date that we haven't talked to in 2 years, right? We're going to warm them up, ask them how they're doing, see what challenges they're going through or how maybe you can support them. You're going to offer up some free content. You're going to nurture them a little bit as well. It might feel different from how you nurture a cold audience or someone that you've never talked to before, but you want to do them the courtesy. You don't want to come in cold with your paid offer. Now, with your run-up, I really want you to think through that content that solves the pain point for them, that really gets them thinking that there's something here for me. Because a lot of times your students, your potential students are in pain and they're just looking for a solution. You want to position yourself as somebody who can be the answer for them, who can be their guide, right? They're the hero, but you're the guide. So with your content run up, you're showing them a little bit of that. You're not showing them all of it, right? That's where your paid offer comes in. That's where your workshop or your course, your lives, whatever it looks like, that's where that comes in. The ultimate solution is in that paid offer, but you're showing them glimpses of what's possible in terms of your content run up. And this a lot of times is why it's so important, because your people are oftentimes in pain or they're looking for a certain desire too. And they're looking for the solutions that will work for them, that will work for their specific situation, because that's another big thing, right? Does my approach work for you? So they're looking for the content, they're looking for your approach, they're looking for who you are and how you live your life, right? And you as a personality and as an expert. So with your content run up, you have an opportunity to show them who you are and show them how your content can be a solution for them. I'll link to additional resources that I've talked about in terms of the content run up. I did this great series with Megan O'Leary where we talk through the run up. I'll link to that in the show notes as well to get your mind going. And I'll also link to some episodes where I talk through content that is driven by pain points and figuring out solutions to their pain points. And by the way, if you don't know the pain points of the content, this is a great time to ask. This is a great time to figure out what are the challenges that they face and how are you acting as a solution for them? How is your course or your workshop going to be a solution for the pain that they're feeling? Very, very important. This is how we hook them from the beginning and then we get them for the long term. All right, this is it. Our 7th and final step in terms of your launch process. Selling system is step 7. Now, as part of your launch, I want you putting yourself out there. I talked about that way over in part 1, right? I want you to really go for it and show them what you got. And part of doing that is having a selling system or a way for your prospective student to go deeper with you to learn about how you teach, your authority, and your expertise. Now, if you think about your content run up, it's a little bit of a taste of that. Now, with your selling system, you're doubling down. You're really going for it. It is a more intense, more comprehensive way to show your teaching style. A lot of times your selling system will be something like a webinar or a masterclass or a challenge, or you'll take hot seats. It could be a video series. It could be a hybrid. Maybe it's a challenge into a webinar. It could be a content series where you're going live and then doing Q&A at the end. It's a way for people to get a strong sense of you. By the way, I've done training webinars where I've done 5 or 6 steps and then sold into my 6-week accelerator. I've also done hot seat trainings where I'm just workshopping applications and challenges that people brought to me before the training. And I love doing both. And both would give you a sense of who I am as a coach and how I'm going to teach you. It gives me a sense of my content, my approach. And by the way, I attract and repel based on those. So some people say, I love your tough love approach, or I love your bulldog accountability. And some people say, you know what? That's not for me. That's what you want in terms of your selling system. You want people to get a sense of who you are. And by the way, who's in the room sometimes? So when I do those hot seats, you can hear who else is in the room, what they're going through. Like I've got nurses in there who want to launch courses, or fitness experts, or I've got coaches and consultants, right? And you can say, I see myself in there. That's another great thing about having something like a challenge or hot seat webinars where you see who's in the room and you could see, okay, I want to be a part of this kind of peer group. So you pick the delivery. So say you want to go live 3 or 4 days in a row, and then you think, how do I want to sell this at the back end? Do you want to mix in hot seats, or you could mix in coaching breakouts? I want you to think through, how do you want to sell and how do you want to put yourself out there? And by the way, this is the biggest piece, the selling system, and knowing how you want to sell, because you're captivating your audience, you're showing them value, and then you're selling them at the end. It's a bigger piece to plan. For my students who have done it, they know this is the biggest and most intense part of the launch, okay? It's planning this selling system. Okay, how do we feel after going through these 7 steps? Some of you might be feeling overwhelmed, or some of you might be feeling confused or have questions. Reach out to me. If you would like to be on a future coaching episode, or you can join me for an intensive where we map out your launch or we map out your transition, you can grab that application on the show notes as well. I'm here to help. I'm here to help you succeed. I want nothing more than for you to put yourself out there, launch your course or your workshop or whatever your program is, and build up your course-based business for the long terms. Until next week, go create, be you and be brilliant, and get it done.